Okay, so I just thought about this experience that I had with a couple of my family members, like towards the beginning of the year. It's like January, February, sometime around there. And I just thought I'd share in the spirit of education. So, anyway, at the airport with my sister, it's my sister, myself, a family member that we have that has health issues. So, usually to avoid walking those long stretches at the airport, we get them a wheelchair. And then it's the woman pushing the wheelchair. So all four of us are black. We walk up on the train. The train hasn't arrived yet. And so we're standing there waiting so that we can get to baggage claim. There's maybe a couple of people, really just a few people, sprinkled in front of some of these doors. And you know there are multiple doors. So there's this Caucasian man kind of standing to the left a little bit of the doors. So my sister and I, we're back away from the doors, and we're kind of closer to this man without impeding on his personal space. The woman that's pushing the wheelchair that my family member is in pulls the wheelchair up to the side of one of the doors, because that's usually what you do with somebody that's in a wheelchair so that you have more time to get them on the train without bumping them around. But she did it in a way to where people could get on and get off at the same time. This white man next to us looks up and sees us, and he's just staring. So I look, and I'm just kind of like, thinking he's going to say something. I'm waiting for him to look at me and make eye contact so I can smile. And he's just like, "You're blocking the doors." So we look at him, and we're just kind of like, it's obvious, ain't nobody blocking the doors. So all of us already know what's going on. So the woman that has the wheelchair is like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "There are people that need to get off of this train and you're just going to block the doors?" Like she's not standing off to the side of one of the doors. And she looks at him and she's just kind of very respectfully. She was just like, "It's okay. There's a lot of space. They can go around." And this man just kind of scoffs and looks back down at his phone. And so anybody that knows me personally knows I'm not good in situations like this. I'm kind of a hothead, so I'm just really, these situations, I don't handle them well. But I tried to keep my cool and just stay calm. Doors open, nobody's on the train, nobody's trying to get off, nobody's trying to get on except us. This man walks on and walks and sits in the handicap seats. So my sister and I just grab a pole, the same pole, and we all get on the train starts moving. I'm praying this dude's stop will just come up so that he can get off the train, but that never happened. And then the doors open at one of the stops, and this Caucasian woman gets on with a stroller. She has a stroller. She pushes the stroller on. When the train pulls up, she was standing in front of the doors too to go ahead and get her stroller on. So I look at her and I see her, I nod at her. Cute little baby in the stroller, or cute little child, toddler, whatever it was. And this man looks up and sees her. And as soon as he looks up and sees her, he hops up out of his seat and he's like, "Oh, ma'am, please sit down." And I know she was confused because she had already grabbed the pole. She was just waiting on the train to start moving. But she kind of looks at him and she's like, "Oh, you sure?" And he was like, "Oh, yes, please take a seat." And so she's like, "Okay, thank you." So she goes and she sits down. And this man, all the places that he could have gone, all the things he could have grabbed, held on to, he comes and walks over and stands over me and grabs the pole above where my hand is. And it's just standing there over me. And I was just like, See, those types of things, and this is lightweight stuff. This is everyday or every other day type stuff that you just gotta whoosah and let it roll off your back for the sake of peace. But bruh, when I tell you that these moments make you feel like you're less than human, they make you feel like you're less than a woman. Like, I don't deserve a seat. And I'm never going to ask anybody to give up their seat or give up their spot for me. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a woman or because I'm whatever. But the fact that he did that in that facetious manner, it's just like, what do you have against me? I don't even know you. Like, I don't know you. We've never met. You don't know my name. You don't know how old I am. You don't know nothing about me or anybody that I have with me. But you're treating me like this. Why? But the funny thing is, and it's not funny, but we just had to try to learn to laugh about it at this point, is that black people subconsciously learn how to like rate what level of racism they're dealing with. Like a lot of it, we just breathe and let it go because it's so common and we deal with it all the time. Like my mom some months ago was getting her food and the guy that was ringing her up, the white guy that was ringing her up was like, "Where are your food stamps, ma'am?" Just assuming that she didn't have the money to pay for the food that's in her basket. Stuff like that happens to us literally all the time. But it's stuff like that that builds up and builds up and builds up. And it's just like, and then some people see, oh, why are you defensive or why are you aggressive? It's like, dude, you don't even understand. It's not just this one experience. It's back to back to back to back to back to back to back experiences. And then it's like, oh, we're seen as defensive. It's like, well, and the really scary thing is that the situation that pisses black people off the most is dealing with racist police. But in those situations, those are the ones that we have to really exercise the most self-control in, because those are the situations to where we could lose our life. So being that upset, but also having to just keep your hands up and keep your head down and like really over explain what it is that you're doing. Okay, sir, I'm reaching for my wallet. I'm really not trying to do anything to hurt you. I have nothing in this car that will hurt you, but I'm reaching for my wallet because you just asked for it. You're clear on that, right? I mean, they might shoot you anyway. It depends on who you're dealing with. But my dad has taught everybody in the house that and how to handle situations when we're dealing with cops that are tripping for no reason. He's taught my brother that, my little brother, and it's scary because my little brother's learning how to drive now. And he only just turned 19, but he looks a lot older than that. He looks like he's in his mid or late 20s. And I'm scared for him to learn how to drive, honestly. I'm really scared for him to learn how to drive. Because he can't walk around with a sign on his forehead that says, "Hey, I'm a kid," for these cops that are running around here. And it's, anyway, I could talk about this all day, but that was just one experience that bothered me. And I just wanted to share it. Love you guys. So there are a lot of people that are craving knowledge on the Black experience, and they want to learn something and educate themselves when it comes to what it is that we deal with. And I feel like it's important for us to talk about all of it. So I'm just here to share my little piece and my facet of this. And I'm sure that there are some people that can relate to it. I'm sure there are a lot of people that can learn from it. So my sisters and I, there's a lot that we have to deal with as females in the industry already, but I'm just going to focus on something that I know probably everyone of color deals with in their career. I can't tell you how many conversations, sometimes arguments, is escalated to that, back and forth with white people telling me what would be most authentic coming out of my Black character's mouth. That's happened to me more times than I'm comfortable with, low-key. And I know that some people might be confused by that, and because if they wrote it or whatever the situation may be, there may be some people that are confused by that statement. So I'll give you an example, because I can guarantee you that everybody of color in this industry knows exactly what I'm talking about. They could have finished my sentence before it left my mouth. But I'm going to give you an example. And I'm gonna use myself too. And I'm not even going to use a white person. I'm going to use somebody from a different culture than me. Say someone from the Asian culture. Because I love Asian culture, I write a script that's starring an Asian man. And so we go through the casting process and we find the perfect actor to play this role. We get on set and I'm there as a consultant because I wrote it. So people come to me in order to change this line and tweak this and all of that. And this actor walks up to me and he's like, hey, so I wanted to have a quick conversation before we started this scene. This line right here, I understand your intention behind writing it, but as an Asian, this doesn't sound authentic coming out of my mouth. So I think it should be changed. I'm not going to sit there going back and forth with this man about what sounds most authentic coming out of his mouth when he has lived every day of his life from the culture that I wrote about and I haven't. I don't care how much research I've done. I don't care how many Asian friends I have around me. If this man comes to me and he's trying to change something with the spirit of keeping the project authentic, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to be like, bet. My bad. What does sound authentic coming out of your mouth? Because whatever that is, say that. Because that's my goal. My goal as a creator of content is to keep these projects authentic. You know what I'm saying? And keep them having some integrity. But, I mean, this is a different conversation, but that's not a lot of these companies' goals. A lot of these companies, directors, producers, showrunners, that's not their goal. Their goal is control, but we'll have that conversation later. But I've experienced that a lot. And I want to say real quick, too, to people of color that want to enter this industry, and it's your goal to be a creator of content in entertainment, I would say to create, and more importantly, to be responsible with it. Because we want to be seen. We want people to know that we're there because we exist. People of color exist. But we also want to be seen in a way that makes us look good, in a way that makes us look strong, because that's who we are. We all come from different walks of life, and I want to see different walks of life on screen. I want to see that. I want to see it all because it exists. And there is too much money being put into the entertainment industry to just show one facet of life. But we have to be responsible, all of us. So I would encourage all of you of color that are trying to enter this industry to create and to be responsible. Build a foundation of integrity with your projects. We need that. We need more of that.